Hi guys. Okay, so it is Monday, and I thought I'd come on with a little update. Um, Wound care has been in, and they did not find any infection, thank goodness. And they actually said that it looked better than it did 2 weeks ago, which is really amazing since I haven't had it debrided in 2 weeks. Um, so really happy about that. Um, Everything else has been under control. Sugars have been good, and because there's really no infection, they have decided to send me home today. So that's also a good thing. Looking forward to getting home. So I haven't heard when I'm going yet, but I'm going at some point. So I will let you know what's going on when I get home. Now, one other thing that I was hoping to do while I was in the hospital was to get my eyes looked at. Unfortunately, the optical that is associated with the hospital does not take my insurance, so I have to make an appointment with someone else now again, and so we're in that sort of get referrals and blah blah blah. So we're in that insurance, rat race. Um, and actually, my eyes have gotten even worse since I've been in the hospital. I no longer can see even with my magnifying loupe to read my emails or anything on my phone. I can't even you know see. I'm looking at myself actually in the phone, and I just look like a big blob. So my eyes have gotten really bad. So please keep me in your prayers for my eyes because I have a feeling at this point I'm going to go blind before I get to see any doctor. It's just really terrible. At any rate, guys, I will talk to you again later when I get home and let you know that everything went okay. And so I will see you in a bit. All right, guys? Okay, folks. So I am home, as you can see. Maybe you can't see because it's kind of dark in here. But I am home. Um, the ambulance ride was interesting to say the least. Um, they couldn't get me on the usual transport ambulance that I normally use because it was too short of notice and they didn't have anybody that could available that could bring me home. So they did find another ambulance transport and they booked them for 5 o'clock. Okay, so that's wonderful. So I get discharged, everything's ready to go. I'm sitting waiting for these people to come. So they come about 5:15, and it's a skinny little old woman and a short little chubby woman. So, okay, I didn't think much about it because on the transport that I normally use, a lot of times two little tiny skinny young girls show up and they can carry me up down and around and they're strong. But this skinny little old lady and this little short tubby woman, I was like, nah, I don't know. Well, they got the stretcher next to my bed. I scooched over onto the stretcher. They got me out into the hallway and they tried to put the stretcher up. Well, the little old lady behind me got her end up. The little short, chubby girl in the front couldn't get hers up. So now I'm like this, at an angle, going down the hall. Okay? So then she's like, well, let's try to get these legs up again. So they tried again. Nope, she couldn't get them up. She's huffing and puffing and oohing and ouching. And I'm like, okay, you two are never going to be able to get me up 4 steps in front of my house. There's steps? Well, yeah, that's why we called you guys. And your dispatcher was told that there were steps that led up to the house. And I was told that you guys would put me on a stretcher and just carry me right into the house on the stretcher. Oh, well, we're going to have to think about how to do that. We're going to have to think about that one. So they take me down the rest of the hospital, sitting at an angle. They get me to the ambulance. They put the back end where my head is up on top of the ambulance and leave the front legs down. So now I'm like this. And I'm like, oh my God. Then it took both of them to lift my legs up and push me onto the ambulance. And then they didn't get me on there right, so they had to take me off, put me back on. The whole time I'm at an angle like this. Okay, so they finally get me on, right? Now I'm on the stretcher, and the side rails on the stretcher are like this tall, right? Nothing to hold on to. The little short, chubby one is driving. She is like Speed frickin' Racer. She's like Mario Andretti, going around these corners like I'm almost tipping over. Like the gurney is almost tipping over. She's going around so fast. And then she's going really fast up the straightaway, but then slamming on her brakes at, a red light or tail lights, somebody braking in front of her, which always makes me car sick, always makes me motion sick. So I'm like, lady, you can't drive like that. I'm going to throw up. But she drove like that the rest of the way. They had no idea how to get to my house. They had no idea what streets were what. I basically had to tell them how to go. Then they turned down a street like 5 streets up from mine and kept winding up and down streets. And finally I was like, what are you doing? How hard is it to understand? Stay on Hanover, okay? So we finally get there. They pull up. They open the back doors. They got me off the same way they got me on. Like this. Okay? So they get me off and they're like, okay, well, we're going to put you then from the gurney into a stair chair to carry you up the stairs. Fine. The stair chair is like way down here. The gurney is like way up here. Like this. And they want me to jump from the gurney down into the stair chair. I nearly killed myself. So then the old lady can't tip it backwards. She doesn't have enough leverage to tip it backwards. So they move me up a little. The little fat one gets behind me. She tips it backwards. Okay? Then the other one gets behind me and starts pulling me backwards. Then she's asking the other one to hold my legs. And she's like, his legs are fine, his legs are fine. And she's like, I mean, hold the bottom of the chair. Oh. So they get me to the stairs. I know darn well they're not going to be able to get me up the stairs. Now, my little fan club is out there, my little neighborhood kids that have to run up here to the corner every time they see an ambulance. So, they're there, asking all kinds of questions. So, these two frickin' frack get me to the stairs and cannot lift me. They just cannot lift me. So the one says to the little kid, "Is there an adult down the street?" "Yeah." "Could you go get him, please?" So the kids run down there, and I hear them asking the guy to come up, and the guy's like, "No, no, no, why? No." Well, the kids aren't telling him that the ambulance crew needs some help. They're just like, he wants you to come up there. He wants you to come up there. And the guy's like, not going anywhere with those little kids. They're such an annoyance in the neighborhood. You know, nobody likes them because they're such a pain in the ass. So he's like, "No, no." So I said, "Girls, like, can you call for an assist or something?" "Well, we can call a fire truck." "Then call, because you're not going to be able to lift me up these stairs." In the meantime, I'm like, "Okay, look, is my husband inside?" Let me look. No, nobody's inside. Nobody's here. My husband should be there. "Tony!" "Oh, wait, there is somebody in here. Could you come help us?" So now my husband has to go out with his bad shoulder and his bad back and help pull me up the stairs. Like, how ridiculous is all that? Like, I thought the other ambulance crew was bad. Never use these people again. Never, never, never. I'm never going to call these people again. They were horrible. They had not one iota of intelligence on how to do anything. They were just awful. But I made it home. They got me into the house. I'm in my chair. I'm in my living room. So, I said hello to my husband. I said hello to all my kids. Our best friend Amanda came over. So we had a little time with her. While I was gone, they found out that the cats do have fleas. I don't know how they got fleas. They don't go outside. But it's quite possible my grass was really overgrown. Tony walked through the grass, got some fleas on his pants, and brought them in the house. I'm thinking that's probably what happened. So Amanda did bring over some, flea treatment. So she treated all three. Poor Khan has been miserable. He's been upstairs, hanging out upstairs because, they try to get to the highest point to get away from the fleas. And I said to Tony the other day, "Are you checking him? Is he eating? Is he drinking? Is he losing weight?" Because I had this problem with my other black cat 20 some years ago, where he was allergic to the fleas and he almost died. Tony's like, "No, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. He's just hiding upstairs to get away from the fleas." Well, they actually coaxed him downstairs tonight, and I touched him, and I was like, "Babe, he is skin and bones. How could you not notice he had lost so much weight?" Well, unfortunately, he didn't notice. But all I had to do was pet him. And I'm like, I feel every rib, I feel his backbones, I feel his hip bones. He's skin and bones. He needs to get a flea treatment, but quick. And he may have to go to the vet and get a shot of cortisone. And I don't think he's eating. So they did coax him downstairs. They gave him the flea treatment. And our friend Amanda brought over some wet cat food. And he ate, bless his heart, he ate 3 cans of wet cat food. That boy was so starving to death. So, I'm glad he got the treatment, got some food in him. Tony put some water upstairs for him. So we'll see in a day or two if he's going to react positively to the flea treatment. And with that flea treatment, it gets in their, under their skin and in their bloodstream, and the fleas that are on them will die, and the new fleas that jump on them from the carpet will bite them and die. So hopefully this will take care of the fleas in the house. Okay. Now I have another story to tell you, but I'm going to save that for a different time because it's one of those, does this thing really work kind of things. And it's a big story. So I will tell you that one later. But I just wanted to let you know that I am home safely. They feel that the blisters came from the draping that they have to put on for the vac machine. Sometimes it does create blisters. So they feel that that's what that came from. So guys, thank you for coming along on this hospital adventure with me. And I am home and I am well. And hopefully we can get the visiting nurses back in here soon. That's a whole nother part of the story that I'm going to tell you at another time. So, for now, be happy, be healthy, be safe. I got fleas. So, watch out for me, because I got fleas. Alright guys, I will see you later. I love you. I love you all. Take care, and I'll be back real soon, okay? Bye-bye.